Hey guys, welcome back. This is part 2 of a landscape project that I started in another video, and I thought I was going to be able to finish it all in one video, but when I was planting all of these things, I always start thinking of everything else that I want to add, and I decided that I wanted to add in some bulbs before I do my drip irrigation and mulch. So I didn't have my bulbs with me, so we decided to cut this up into 2 videos. So in this video, I'm going to be planting bulbs, Mount Tacoma tulips, and I bought 70 of them to put in a nice big drift in here. And then I'm going to be doing drip irrigation, which won't be super hard because I've got a place to tap in right there. So that'll be fairly easy, and then I'm going to be remulching this whole area. I really like, got this done yesterday, and so I've been out here looking at it and I really like it. So just really quickly to go over the plants that I put in here, I've got 3 Desert Plains Pennisetum, zone 5 to 9, hardy Pennisetum, I love it. And then we've got a Rock and Grow Maestro Sedum, there's 5 of them there, and the bees are just all over them. And then we've got an Anna's Magic Ball, Arborvitae right there, and that's just a very small evergreen. It looks like I forgot to take my tag off, awesome. And then I have 3 daylilies that were already here. We've got 5 Daisy May daisies here, and then I think I put in about 30, these are Sweetie Pie Dianthus right here, that will bloom really sweet little pink blooms late spring, early summer. And then there's a, lo and behold, Blue Chip Junior Butterfly Bush. Seems like a lot of plants for this area, but like I explained in the first video, these plants are enormous. I mean, I don't get to plant things that are this big that often, and a lot of these are almost their full mature size, like the grasses and the sedums. Of course, the dianthus and the daisies will fill in a little bit. So when I was planting, like you can see these little areas back in here, like right in here and back in here, that I thought it would be perfect to add in some tulips, some really early spring interest. And that's something that I really wanted to talk to you guys about. Like when you are getting ready to do your new areas, really think about all 4 seasons. It's really easy if you're doing a project in summer or fall like it is now, to go down to the garden center and you see everything that's in bloom right now and how beautiful it is, and it's really hard to restrain yourself and to think about all the other seasons as well. So make sure that there's winter interest, which I will have in here. The Pennisetums will be perfect in the winter, as well as the sedums. I never cut those back until really early spring because these stand up really well in the winter and they're beautiful. I've also got a boxwood in here that will be great. And then I've got lots of summer interest with my daisies and the dianthus. There's fall interest with the sedum, but I just kind of have this window in that early springtime when the grasses are cut back, sedums, everything's pretty much cut back. So I wanted something in here that would stand up and be beautiful. So I thought bulbs would be great. Let me show you what they look like. So these are Mount Tacoma tulips. They're a double, so they look kind of like a peony or a David Austin rose, which are some of my favorites. So I have 70 of these to put in. And these are a really good variety in my area. We're a zone 5, so it's hardy, let's see, we're getting -20 here. And these ones do really well in our climate, and they naturalize really well. Because some tulips, they kind of fizzle out after a year or 2. These ones seem to stay around for a good 10+ years, which is really great for a tulip. Also, the reason why I'm planting so many is because I always feel so bad about cutting my own flowers out of my garden because they always look so pretty in the garden. So I thought if I plant a whole bunch, maybe I won't feel as bad cutting some for inside flower arrangements. So anyway, that's what I'm going to do. Plant bulbs, drip irrigation, mulch. Here we go. So I dug kind of a trench here. It's irregular shaped. It goes all the way back around in between these 2 sedums, and it's fairly wide. It starts out about that wide and then kind of narrows down. But doing this before drip tubing and mulcher down is so nice. I've so many times done it afterward and you make a mess of everything. So now I'm going to put a little bulb food down at the base of the hole, and then I'm going to line up my bulbs. So you want to plant your tulips pointy side up. That's how they grow. And I space them about 2 to 4 inches apart from each other. I go closer to the 2-inch side because I like them to look really full. And then we plant them at about 4 to 6 inches in depth. And I'm probably right in between. So we're good to go. This is a thing of beauty. There's 50 tulip bulbs in this trench. Now I'm just going to fill it back in. Okay, tulips are done, so now I'm gonna work on the drip. And I like using this stuff. It's the drip line that has the holes every 18 inches, just because in areas this planted, it would be really hard to run individual drippers to every single plant. And I really don't like doing that anyway, because it's really hard to gauge exactly the amount of water every plant needs, because soil types are different, weather's different, lighting's different, so I kind of tend to like this a little bit better. Here we go. So this is the existing drip line right here, and all it does is it comes from the other side of the gazebo and just wraps right around this boxwood. So I'm gonna put in a T-joint right here and just run a tube off of that, and then I'll run it all around where I need it, and then I've got an end cap for it. So that's how this is gonna work. These are anchoring pins. They're just shaped like a giant staple, and they just help hold the drip tubing down right where you want it. So it's not like bumping up or whatever, going willy-nilly all over the place. Okay, so now I'm gonna put on the end cap. So I'm just gonna cut and slide it on. Tack it down. Drip is done, and I didn't do quite as much drip in the front because dianthus is pretty tough with little amounts of water, and I do think that this gets a little bit of overspray from our lawn sprinklers, so I wanted to be really careful with that. I can always add more drip tubing, but it's harder to take it out than it is to add it. So now we mulch. Okay, it's all done, and I really like how it turned out. I love how all the plants look. I think it's gonna fill in and be gorgeous, especially when those tulips come in, and they're gonna be so pretty in the spring. The mulch that I use, a lot of you asked in the last landscape project video what I used, and I've been using the black mulch. I think that's what it's called. And to be honest, I'm not gonna keep using that mulch. I've just been using it because I'm kind of in a pinch. We've been waiting on a shipment of the stuff that I normally use down at the garden center. It's an organic planting compost, actually. It's not a mulch that I usually use. So it's a compost that's got lots of good stuff for the soil, and I feel better about it because it's organic and it doesn't have dyes or colorants in it. I mean, this is beautiful. It's dark colored. I love that. I love when mulch looks like it's just like been freshly moistened, like sprayed down with the hose. I love that look. It makes the plants contrast and pop, but I want to put good stuff in my soil, so that's the deal with that. Anyway, yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed seeing this little transformation, and we'll see you in the next video. Bye.